Individualism, a decisive topic in the modern day and age, by some seen as a force of destruction, and by others seen as a force of freedom. My stance on it, complicated of course, but also right, because I'm always right. But in reality, what is called individualism is really two different things put under the same umbrella, because the word individualism is a good way to describe both. And as you can most likely guess by me stating that I am for one and against the other. Being an individual that doesn't conform to general society and instead has their own way of going at things. Someone that doesn't follow the pack, instead following only their own self, is a type of individualism I see no problem with, in most part, other than many people like that being themselves is just being degenerates. But other than that, the idea of not conforming and being yourself is something that isn't in essence an issue. Rather, it is in essence actually something good. Conformity to broader society really isn't a good thing in many cases. Like for example, in the modern age, many like me for example, don't conform to society because modern society is morally and spiritually rotten and we want no part in being that. Because of that, I actually think other people should also be like that. But enough of this chottery. It's meant for another time. And on to the other chottery, the negative side of individualism. The two kinds of individualism can be differentiated most easily by the fact one of them is outwards going and the other inwards going. The before talked about one being the outwards going one because it's mainly about being different from the outer world, whereas the inwards going one is self-focused, but not in the same vein as something good like inwards perfection or self-enlightenment. Instead, being focused on the self in a selfish, self-centered manner. This kind of individualism is in essence self-idolization. It is the doctrine of supremacy of the individual's own desire over everything else. This is what the negative side of individualism is. It's how people are told to follow whatever they themselves want, to a ridiculous degree that disregards other people in anything larger in scale than the personal microcosm as non-important, emphasizing the only important thing as the worship-like dedication to the individual's self-desires. It's an idealization of selfishness rebranded with a more palatable name, because it's been known since long forgotten ages that selfishness is a bad thing. This individualist self-centeredness is bad for everyone. It's bad for other people because the individualists care for themselves, disregards them. It's bad for society as a whole for the same reason, and it's bad for the individualists themselves because they are worse people for it, and because self-centeredness creates an impossible doctrine of trying to separate the selves from all else and place it above it. The entire world is inherently connected, and because of this, the individualists decide to have the only connection to the world being an influx of gain towards them is extremely destructive, because the nature of the world is that everything is connected. A healthy world is one where every part is reciprocal, where everything has its own place and realizes that even outflow from it, flowing into another and benefiting the other, is also a benefit for the self, because a benefit for something is a benefit for everything. With this healthy world, where everything knows its place and knows that being in its place is the best thing for it, is impossible with the doctrine of individualism, where it's encouraged to go against this flow and try and create an impossible motion of everything good towards the self, that if somehow achieved, and in the quest of trying to achieve, brings destruction and harm to the larger world, trampling others to get for the self. A shallow pursuit of lesser people that can only get joy through themselves. This is why virtue culture is so important, because it makes people strive for something greater than any one person, and to be better instead of striving for what their own emotional wants are, that will always end up becoming self-centeredness, and turn into people trying to make the world into their own personal take all of it they can take and take from and have no other relationship with. And now I'm going to come with the funny personal attacks, because individualism and self-centeredness is something for unintelligent idiots who are too stupid and shallow to find happiness in something greater than self-indulgence. This ideology of individualism doesn't just tear down the individuals that engage with it and turn them into selfish hedonists, but it actively tries to burn down anyone else not consumed by its shallowness, that tries to live in a manner that doesn't put themselves as the be-all end-all and most important person of everything, or someone that dedicated their lives to something greater than embracing hedonism. When those consumed by it see someone that hasn't been infected by their rebranded selfishness, that is dedicated to anything greater, they will always become angered by it and hurl around all manner of accusations, ironically saying they want to force everyone to be like them, because even if it only lies in their subconscious, they know it threatens their cult of self-dedication, to have people realize that self-obsession is but a shallow pool of fulfillment, and they know deep down that they are the ones that want everyone to be like them. For it's easier for a criminal to get away when many other people commit the same crime, and it is also easier for them to justify to themselves and others when they are not alone. That is why they want everyone to be self-obsessed hedonists like themselves, even though it hurts everyone and everything. But they don't care, cause that isn't a part of their personal microcosm. It's something larger, and thus something that doesn't matter to them. And when another self-centered person crosses their path, that person is a bad person, because they go against the flow of everything good towards them. The world falls apart when people stop thinking about something greater, about how the world is held together, and start only thinking about themselves, and when they put the self before their greater. Individualism is one of the most detestable, most evil and worst things in the world. It is extremely destructive, because it is essentially the core essence of destruction. Breaking. Except, it also leaves just the things that are beneficial to what is almost broken off. Individualism is a cult of self-obsession and self-deification. It is but selfishness disguised under the thin veil of being self-actualization.
Entre flores, fandanguillo y alegría, nació mi España, la tierra del amor. Solo Dios pudiera hacer tanta belleza y es imposible que puedan haber dos. Y todo el mundo sabe que es verdad y lloran cuando tienen que marchar.